Hello, everybody. Today I'm continuing with the 2022 planets, and the focus is on Mars. Mars is having a very unusual 2022, and this is why I am doing an extra focus on him. He has a long conjunction with Venus. He has a conjunction with Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, retrograde. It is a busy year for Mars and unusual year. Let us explore. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking 2022 planets, and with the focus on Mars unusual transit. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. Also, a reminder to you that a Saturn conference that I'm doing online, early bird is on 31st of December. So you don't want to miss that out. Also, we are doing the Saturn conference with great teachers all over the world, and we are going to cover every topic possible on Saturn. So it is a great conference. It's online. You can listen to it from home, from your desktop, phone, laptop, whatever you want to do. So again, its information is on komilla.com, and the early bird is 31st of December, and conference is 5th to 8th of February 2022. So what about Mars in 2022? Normally, when I'm focusing on planets, I don't focus on Mars so much because Mars is one of the faster moving planets. Its orbit is 2 years long, and it will conjoin with certain planets, and it moves on, and it can retrograde once every 2 years. But what I noticed this year was that there are very unusual aspect of Mars in 2022. Firstly, as soon as we begin 2022, Mars is with Ketu. Although the exact conjunction with Ketu already happened last year in December 2021, but in 2022, it begins with Ketu. So we could say there are some karmic issues that Mars is bringing with it. Mars is very strong in Scorpio. And this year, it is the year when he goes into his exaltation of Capricorn and then into Aries. So therefore, if you just look at a general view, you would think this is really very strong. However, what is happening is that from February onwards, 11th of February, Mars conjoins with Venus, and Venus is very slow, and therefore it's moving at the same speed at Mars, because Venus has been retrograde and it went direct, and Mars conjoins with Venus to the exact degree on 11th of February and remains conjoined right up to 13th of March. And throughout this time, Mars, Venus are in a planetary war. So planetary war happens when a planet is within 1 degree of each other. Mars, Venus go into planetary war quite regularly. But what is different this time is because Venus is slow motion in February, March, is that it doesn't leave Mars. So therefore, they are together first in Sagittarius, and then they go together into Capricorn, and they remain together. So this planetary war is creating a lot of friction, and there can be two results. One is that they are very close together, so their agenda is the same. But usually Mars is a planet of war, and he can be disruptive and impulsive and create situations that are unexpected. Also, their elements are inimical elements to each other. Mars is fire element, Venus is water. So what happens when fire meets water? It can steam it up, heat it up. So Venus can get very aggravated and angry. And Mars can, the water of Venus can put out the fire of Mars. So therefore Mars can become dysfunctional and not doing its thing. But together, the friction or irritation or war, it will affect everybody according to their where Mars and Venus rules their signs. But Aries, Libra, Taurus, Scorpio, they are the ones who will get maximum impact of this, because it's first and seventh house and self and relationships, self and spouse or self and partner. So, you have to be careful how you manage your discussions, arguments during that time, and also to watch for it, because this is very rare combination. It could be that you and your spouse are in the same space together, and that is good. And Venus also is the significator karaka for marriage and relationships. So this particular war with Mars throughout February, March is not generally good in relationships. We can feel, all of us can feel unsettled, unsure about what is happening, and feel aggravated by Mars. And also, of course, if not a good time to plan for marriages or plan for events around this time, because both Mars and Venus are in a compromised position. And Venus is the one that we do want strong for relationships, love, marriage. That is what he signifies. Also, money-wise, Venus is karaka for money. So watch financial situations during this time as well. And Mars is, of course, the planet of action and war. And if he is in a compromised position, then you can not know how to act properly. We all can suffer from that sometimes, take impulsive actions or do things that are counterproductive to us. So be careful, watch this transit, and do leave a message afterwards, even when you experience it. I will be talking more about it in the February news as well. Then the second, after Mars finishes this war with Venus, he goes into Capricorn, and Saturn is placed in Capricorn. And he has a conjunction with Saturn on 4th of April. Now, the planetary war with Saturn will be from 4th to 6th of April. They are tight conjoining together. Now, here what it is that Mars is exalted. He's in a powerful position. Saturn is in a powerful position, but they deal with opposite things. Saturn is always caution, face your karma. Mars is macho gung-ho. He wants to do things. He's an action planet, and Saturn is saying, oh, no, don't do it. And just after having that long war with Venus, Saturn comes in there to block Mars from doing whatever he wants to do. So I think this is another key point. One aspect of this Mars-Saturn conjunction is this, that when COVID started in 2000, that is the time a Mars-Saturn conjunction was taking place. And that is when all the lockdowns took place, right around 30th of March. COVID, the start was much earlier, but the lockdowns were taking place. And there was that Mars-Saturn conjunction, and now in Capricorn, that was about 6-7 degrees of Capricorn. And now this conjunction is repeating itself after 2 years. Is this kind of some kind of message there that we are coming to an end of one important part of this cycle? But for all of us, we have to be extra cautious around this time. And I remember in 2000, when Mars-Saturn conjunction was there, the stock markets went crazy and they crashed, although they made up ground immediately. But, this was a volatile period. around this time. So again, all the things that when we are watching, we are knowing that these are volatile times, so to be careful about it. And Mars and Saturn, if you think about their elements, Mars is fire, Saturn is air. So what does air do? Air exaggerates the fire element. So our Mars tendencies can get over exaggerated with any Mars-Saturn conjunction, although they will be together in Capricorn for some time in March and April. It's that exact conjunction that is the big thing to watch out for. Then for a month or so, we have some calmness, but Mars goes into Pisces, and that is where his friend Jupiter is there. So Mars-Jupiter conjunction, 29th, 30th of May, it shouldn't be as complicated as the other conjunctions, but because it is coming, one after the other, Jupiter can give wisdom to Mars, can say, please, calm down, be, cool about things. In Pisces, Jupiter's in its own sign, Mars is less militant there. So I would say that conjunction is one that we can take it slowly, but with awareness, but we don't have to worry so much about it. The last important conjunction is of Rahu with Mars, and that is on 1st of August. You could say 29th, 30th, 31st July, and then couple of days in August. That is when this intensity is there. Rahu Mars is never an easy conjunction to deal with. It can bring some spurt of anger, violence, difficulty, but we don't know which part of the world it can happen. So basically, we are being cautious around that time, not to fly, not to do any overdoing things. I think that is an important factor, and be safe during that time. Rahu is air element again. Rahu acts like Saturn, and Mars is fire. So what happens is Rahu eggs on Mars. Actually, Saturn will give more cautious to Mars, but still will exaggerate Mars issues through frustration, irritation. Whereas Rahu will say, okay, if you're irritated, show it, be more so. And it brings fear, anxiety, all the conspiracy theories, things like that. So, 1st of August, around that time, to be conscious in 2022. And then the final aspect of Mars in 2022 is its retrogression. Mars retrogrades once every 2 years. Along with Venus, Mars has a less retrograde time, about 7% of the time Mars retrogrades. Therefore, whenever he retrogrades, it is a very important time for all us to watch out for. So Mars retrograde is going to start in October and end in January. Mars goes retrograde at 1 degree Gemini on 30th of October 2022, and he will retrograde back to Taurus and will go direct at 14 degrees of Taurus on 12th of January 2023. So normally what I find with all the retrogrades really is that the retrograde at the start and the end, those are the dates you have to watch out for. So Mars slowing down in October, he'll start slowing down. And then he's in Gemini, and then he doesn't go into Gemini because only 1 degree. That means something that there's hesitation to move forward. So it retrogrades back, and it will move back to Taurus in November, and then it retrogrades right up to 14 degrees Taurus. So 30th of October and 12th of January, 2 dates to watch out for. Also, the midterm elections for USA are always early November. So what you can watch at around end of October with Mars going retrograde is that there's going to be some shift of thinking among people. Remember, Mars is an action planet. And before that, it may be all gung-ho. I want to do things. I want to, act this way. But it turns retrograde and just sort of couple of days before the election. So this is one to watch out for. Mars doesn't go into Gemini. He spends a lot of time in Taurus. He will do the full Taurus, then he will retrograde back to 14 degrees Taurus, where he is going to be Vargotama as well. And then he goes direct. So it is Taurus where Mars influence is the most. And for Taurus, I would say Mars is the 7th house ruler and 12th house ruler. So it is about relationships. 12th house is also expenses and loss. So Taurus specifically need to be careful about how they spend money. Also in their relationship, their partners may be very dominating at that time and influencing them. So how it is, depends on each particular chart, what dasha you are in, other things as well. But, do watch for that. But I personally always, with these retrogrades, will watch for the beginning and the end of the retrograde. Mars doesn't make any conjunction. He has done all his conjunctions in the first half of the year. So conjunctions you have to think about, and planetary wars are things stopping you from doing things. And Mars is more impulsive, wants to do things. And what can we learn from that? From the 2022 planets is that if we are being stopped, or if we are things are not going exactly the way we want to, we should not be angry about it. We should be cool. We should think, okay, we need to process this information, then we can move on and decide what we want to do. Usually decisions taken when planets are aggravated don't have good results. So, we need to plan our year to think, okay, these are the times when things are more aggravated, therefore we are more vulnerable. Of course, every chart is different, so we are just looking at the overall view of it. So do leave me a message below, and especially later on when you experience these transits. And thank you very much. Do remember to subscribe. I am going to be looking at each of the signs. Once I've finished, I've got one more to do with Rahu and eclipses and Kalsarpa yoga. After I finish that, I'll be putting out the video for how it affects 2020, each sign, and spend quite a bit time with each sign. Thank you again. All the best.